Hello YouTube, Shadow Hero 90 here, and welcome to my show Sexism in Movies and TV. You see, there is a reason why I do this show. Now, despite the fact that a lot of the stuff I review is for adults, a lot of the stuff I rip apart is aimed at kids. And truth be told, boys do not get good role models out of these shows. In fact, growing up on schlock like this actually runs the risk of your typical young man growing up with very low self-esteem, and possibly coming to hate himself when he reaches adulthood. And that's why I do this show, to expose the hypocritical and unbelievable level of hatred thrown at both boys and men through both movies and TV, in the hopes of making a difference. Let me just start off by saying I do not like this show. My hatred went so far as to, cause me to create an anti-Brony / My Little Pony hate playlist on my channel. And yes, I am very happy that it was canceled. Now, I did not watch the episode Dragon Quest of My Little Pony. I'm doing this review, but I am not watching this piece of horse shit. No pun intended. I only heard about it in passing, but I'm pretty sure I can easily assume what it'll be about and give you an abridged review of what happens and why. Okay, so when this little runt is told that he doesn't act like other dragons, he decides to leave and make some friends who are dragons. He then gets bullied and made fun of by the other dragons, and eventually goes running home to the ponies, and the ponies most likely then do something to the dragons to get back at them. The end. And the dragons are metaphors for boys. And believe me, this does not go over well. It essentially tells little girls that all men are jerks. And that is something, well, that leads into what I want to bring up next, and is going to be the bulk of this video. And that would be Lauren Faust, a veteran in the animation industry, as well as an outspoken feminist. Which, I'm going to say, letting her have control over this as a feminist was a very bad idea on Hasbro's part. My Little Pony is supposed to be a show that teaches girls about morals. Now, having a feminist write that show is an idiotic move. Well, not so much write, but produce it, maybe write it, and have complete creative control. I'm not exactly sure what her role was when this began, but it was a very large and powerful one. This show also gave rise to the brony phenomenon, and I am about 90% sure that that is exactly why Miss Faust decided to leave. When she found out how toxic the fandom of her show had become, and the psychopathic things they were doing, I am 90% sure that that's why she left, because feminists never want to take accountability for their actions. They want, well, the power and authority, but with that comes responsibility. And when your fan base is essentially just a group of sociopaths, and little girls kind of give the impression that these sociopaths took the show away from them and ruined it for them, it would make sense that since it was a feminist who wrote this, she would leave to avoid taking responsibility for her actions. Now, you're probably thinking that what I'm saying is bullshit. It is not. I actually heard somewhere that this woman saw the original and wanted to reboot it, even though she had something else in mind that she was going to work on, but chose this instead because she thought the original My Little Pony was too girly. For shit's sake, it's a cartoon based off My Little Pony. It's supposed to be girly. It's supposed to appeal to little girls. You want to know what logic this falls on? I'll tell you with a simple metaphor. Let's say, hypothetically, in the 2030s, we get a remake of Adventure Time. Now, the man who's going to be in complete control of this remake will have been described as a men's rights activist who had been divorced 3 times. And then, in the first season or 2, we get stuff like Finn killing Marceline the first night they meet, and season 1 ending with Finn coming to the realization that Princess Bubblegum will never date him and that she's evil, and in response, Finn kills her. Now, you're probably wondering where all that would come from. Throughout the first season of this hypothetical Adventure Time remake, Bubblegum would have been portrayed as a self-centered, greedy little bitch who only thinks about herself, and they would take her from where she would normally have been in the original season 1, but she'd be written like season 6 or 7 Bubblegum, where she's just a complete bitch with no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And hypothetically, when this hypothetical Adventure Time remake enters its next season, it would actually be Princess Bubblegum who becomes the Lich and tries to kill Finn and Jake over it, because Finn found out Bubblegum was evil, decided he was going to kill her in a fit of rage, and the entire show would want you to side with Finn in this hypothetical scenario. And not to mention that if this happened, we might see something like an alternate version of Adventure Time, where Finn and Jake are constantly pointing out that Lumpy Space Princess is stupid, and they'd be calling her stuff like circus clown, idiot, jackass, right to her face. But anyways, back on topic. Then the guy who developed this Adventure Time remake for Cartoon Network essentially leaves after feminist groups are livid about this and are calling the show misogynistic, and that the media blames this Adventure Time remake for a sudden uprise of boys bullying girls at school. Just switch boys with girls and Adventure Time with My Little Pony, and that's exactly what Lauren Faust did, or at least what I'm pretty sure she did. So anyways, I'm gonna end this episode of Sexism in Movies and TV by saying My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a cartoon that's meant to teach girls morals, and it failed in ways no one could even start to imagine.